And y'all, I can't believe people would even ask me to do this, but I'm.
Well, hey friends and neighbors, it's Chuck out at Sheridan Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. Been a few days since we done a video. Saundra and I went up to Burkesville, Kentucky, and done a farm consult for some folks up there. We'll tell you a little bit more about that here later on. But we are looking down the barrel of some bitterly cold weather for the South. I know you guys in Wisconsin and South Dakota and wherever else in the great frozen tundra of the North, this is going to be shirt sleeve weather for y'all. But we're predicted to get down to, I think the low tomorrow night is like 9. But anyway, we got some work to do to get ready for that, so we're going to work on that today. So hang out with us for a little bit, and let's get us and these critters ready for some cold weather. So right now, it's just kind of gloomy and damp. We've had a little bit of rain this morning. We're kind of in the middle of mud season. I mean, everything's just soft and muddy, and it's just aggravating. 41 degrees this morning, so it's really pretty pleasant out. But it's supposed to cool off as the day goes along. I think they're calling for maybe another little rain shower, maybe some snow flurries after a while. Not a lot of precipitation for us with this particular storm, or particular weather front, not really a storm. Just cold. All right, first things first, we're gonna start up the new haul and let it warm up a little bit. Everybody likes a cold diesel start. See if I can figure out how to mount this camera. We'll catch that exhaust right there as we start this thing. All right, we're in the hay delivery business this morning, so what I want to do, I want to provide some bedding for some of the animals. So this first roll, we're going to take it up and give it to that one lone pig that I've got. She's up there by herself. She doesn't have any buddies. And typically pigs, whenever they start getting cold, they will bunch up, they will snuggle to preserve heat and to stay warm. So we're going to give her some hay so that she's got some bedding, and that'll just give her something to kind of wallow in. She'll eat some of it, but that'll give her something to wallow in, and she'll just kind of burrow up in this thing tonight and tomorrow night during the coldest part of the day. So we'll take it up there and drop it off for her right quick. All right, I've just dropped it here, but she's been nesting in this one here. I'm gonna just break some of it off and throw it over in this thing to give her a little more nesting material. Of course, she'll probably bring some of it over, but I'm gonna just help her out a little bit right quick. Believe I'd sleep in that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Plenty of hay, plenty of hay. All right, let's get out of here. Go do another one. So on that lone pig, we're still not sure what we're gonna do. You know, we had mentioned in a previous video about maybe doing an on-farm processing here, maybe doing a class. We're still not set up for that, and we're not sure how to do it or if we want to do it. A lot of different things goes into that. Had a guy call me day before yesterday, said he may be interested in it. I don't think that's going to work out. I believe we've got some logistical issues that would kind of prevent that. And Saundra and I have talked about maybe just getting another processing date and taking the trailer up there and leaving it for like a week and just, you know, work on getting her up in there and see if we can run that deal again. I just don't know. So, but for the time being, we got her some bedding. She's going to be warm and comfortable and all that kind of thing. So she's good and set and ready to go. All right, I brought these guys a roll out last night, but I went ahead and brought them another one this morning because it's gonna be getting cold. Best way for these animals to stay warm is to eat. And so, looks like everybody's excited about it. Right here's looking pretty good. I had one, was looking a little wormy. They're a little thin in the rear. This one right here, yep. This one right here, 340. A little thin in the backside. We're gonna worm everybody once the weather warms up. Looking pretty good overall. This guy here, he's not even a year old. Look at him, he's a beast. Big old boy, ain't you? Yeah, you tell him. So what we're wanting to do here, this is what we call the horse barn. This is where the previous owners used to keep their horses. And sometimes the cows will come up here and loaf, and you can see plenty of evidence that they've been here. So we're just gonna spread this out, and give them a little bit of bedding area so they can come up here. And I mean, it's gonna be cold. They should be fine, but just to give them a little bit of warmth and a little bit of something to come up here, like we did that pig, just to kind of nestle in and stay warm, I think will be just kind of a creature comfort for them. So we're just gonna spread it around, no big deal.
I don't know how to sarcastically say it, but anyways, I've also been conned into going to Target now.
Oh, Target. Target.
As one might call it.
Fancy French store.
You want to know where I found that fork, by the way?
I'm sorry?
That fork.
Was
You
it
know where
in?
I found it?
Was it in the greenhouse?
It was not, in fact, in the greenhouse. It was propped up against the greenwood out there in the
Oh, okay.
in the lumber yard.
Yeah, I was using it to scoop up chaff and chips and that kind of thing. When I was cleaning up out there. All right, Jake, if we can leave the rest of it, that's fine. Won't hurt a thing.
Careful here, put my bear. No. Well.
All right, good deal. Good deal. All right, plenty of bedding, lots of hay. They'll come in here and they'll mash all this down, poop and pee on it, do what cows do. And this will, not in the next couple days, but over time, you'll start to have a little bit of a composting effect, and it will put off a little bit of heat, and it'll be another source of warmth for them. So, but I think this will do them pretty good for a couple days. There's, we didn't unroll all of it. They'll eat some of it too. So, but this should work out nice for them. Little cow bedding area. $203,000 miles. That one's got 270. I think it's 270,000. And Saundra's car over there, you can't see it. Just turned 169. This truck's the newest one that we've got. It's 2014. And I'll just tell y'all, I think that has been key for our farm operations. We've not gone out and spent a bunch of money on vehicles. We don't have, all of our vehicles are paid off right now. And it's hard to get ahead whenever you're making a bunch of payments. I hate car payments, hate them. All right, I'm gonna run to Lowe's and get a couple of rolls, or a couple of rolls, good gracious. I'm gonna get a couple of pieces of pipe insulation, and I'm gonna put that around the inlet line on my cattle drinker, and also on the siphon line on the cattle drinker. I don't know if that'll work or not, but just something to try to keep that line from freezing. Keeping a siphon going and keeping that water recirculating or circulating does help. But I'm still afraid, with it getting down to 9 degrees, even with water circulating, I'm afraid that's not going to be enough. I got Jacob working on the plastin valves. I'll show you all that whenever I get back, what I had him do on those. I think that'll help some too. But we're gonna run and get some pipe insulation and see if that don't help us a little bit. So guys, does this ever happen to you? You get in the car, you get in the truck, get ready to go somewhere. Ain't got no gas in it. And I promise y'all, I have given Saundra permission. I've given Whistle Britches permission more than once. It's okay if you want to fuel a vehicle. I don't mind. I really don't. It's okay. Got to stop and get some fuel. All right, I should not be allowed to go to Lowe's unsupervised. So I got me a couple pieces of pipe insulation. Got me another roll of insulation. We busted that one up. I'll show you what we done with the other one when we get back home. We busted that one up at the house and used it for something else. And I think it's just handy to have of insulation laying around. So I got me 3 different sizes of pipe insulation. We'll show you what we're gonna do with that. And man, I hit the clearance sections. They had a 7 1/4 skill saw blade, $8.99. They had a pack of these gloves. They're just work gloves. They're large, men's large, but I mean, normally like $9. They had them like for $2.22. So we'll just put them in the toolbox and hang on to them. And I found this, a little Craftsman ratcheting T-handle set. It's got some different screwdrivers and bits and different things on there, and it ratchets. Normally $30, $14.98, so it was half price. Got up to the counter and it rang up as full price, and the nice lady said if you can take a picture of the tag on the shelf that she would honor the price. So I went back there and snapped a picture. Should have got the other, there wasn't 2 of them, should have got the other one, but I figured that'd be a handy little thing to have around the shop, putting a buggy or something like that. So should not be sent to Lowe's unsupervised. You wanna go? Let's go. Ruben, say hi to Roger. Say hi, Roger. No, I just thought of something. Well, it must be covered. I've got a box right here somewhere that's got a diverter valve on it. It's right in here somewhere. I've got a box in here somewhere. It's got a diverter valve that turns the water off that goes out to the field out here. But I don't see it. We must have covered that thing up, which is fine. And if it's covered up, I'm not going to dig it back out, but I thought if it was exposed, I was going to put a little insulation down in it, but I don't see it. We must have covered, it's right in there. I don't see it, so we must have covered it up with dirt. So, all right, let's go to the field and get this other stuff fixed. What you doing, biggin? Hey, how are you? You out here watching over the chickens? This is your kind of weather, ain't it? Yeah, big thick coat. You love all this. Sweet girl. I gotta go to work. I bet you follow me now. All right, so something else that we did, or Jacob done this for me, young man that works for us, done this for me while I was gone to Lowe's. We took each one of these pipes that has our valves for our quick connects. The lids on, I'm not gonna pull it off. We took the lids off of these and we took rolled insulation, like that roll I got at Lowe's, and pushed roll insulation down in there to cover up those valves to keep them from freezing. Now we're not gonna use them, but the reason that we done that was I don't want them to freeze and bust. And so this over here is going to be our next challenge. And I think this is, I don't know that it's going to work, but it's not gonna hurt. So what I'm gonna do over here, I'm gonna put our line that is feeding into the drinker. This one right here. Oh, right there it is. See, we stuffed that full of insulation. So I'm gonna take this line right here and I'm gonna wrap it with some of this pipe insulation that I got. And then I'm also gonna do the same thing on my siphon hose so that we continue to get a siphon. That's muddy, I about fell. That'd been funny. Let's make sure this is still running. So we're still running out of our siphon right there. So we're recirculating, or we're circulating the water. So I'm gonna cut some of this pipe insulation. We're gonna put a piece on our inlet and on our siphon. And hopefully, we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be cold, y'all. It's just gonna be cold, and it may freeze despite our best efforts, but we're gonna do this and see if it doesn't help. So I don't have a good place to hang my camera. I'm gonna turn y'all off. I'll bring you back in just a minute and show you. Okay, here's what I done. I took that pipe insulation. I was kind of split it right down there. Took the pipe insulation and wrapped my inlet in and my siphon going out. And I had a couple places where it's trying to come loose, so didn't have any tape with me. So I went up to the barn and got an old roll of cheapo wore out wire. Cut a few strips off of it to kind of secure that insulation on there. And then we've still got our siphon going over here, so everything's still operating like it should. You know, the trick's going to be keeping it from freezing up. But that's what we done with it. And it may still freeze right in there. I don't know. It's just, somebody suggested this. I drilled a couple of holes and put some zip ties around that siphon pipe, hold that thing in place. And that, you're right, they won't mess with it. So that was a big help. But what do y'all think about this? Is this right, wrong? I mean, will it work? Won't it? I guess by the time y'all see this video and have a chance to comment, we'll be in a deep freeze, but there it is. We shall see. All that right there cost me about $7. So if it works, it works. And the weather guesser is predicting for us to be below freezing for around, I've seen a couple different things, somewhere around 100 hours, 120 hours, something like that. I don't know, we'll see. But if we get below freezing, it's below freezing for that long, it's gonna be a mess. I mean, it is what it is. So, all right, I got one other thing I'm gonna do to get ready for the cold, and then let's go in the shop and we'll sit down and build a fire and talk a little bit. All right, we're gonna need one of these jewels right here. And a bulb. Okay, we'll find out soon enough. All right, you can ride right there. Okay, so this is the pump house for my spring. And spring comes down, fills up this reservoir box, and then my pump and pressure tank and everything is all down in here. So what I want to do, I've got this heat lamp. I want to fashion this heat lamp down in here somewhere, somehow. I'm going to see if I can find me a hook and just hook on to that right there, that 2x6, and just let it hang in there and see if that don't work. This is underground. It's not insulated, but it is underground. Got a good cover on it. But I just can't help but think adding a little bit of extra heat or something to it would be beneficial. All right, y'all. That's where you get to see a middle-aged man crawl around. Oh. All right, found me a hook. I'm just gonna mount it somewhere right here in the middle, and we'll see how this goes. Well, that may not work like that. I got it started, I'll let it go straight. There we go. All right. Orient it that way. We'll take our lamp, hang it here. We'll have to close it and see what it's going to look like. I'm not sure. May need to move it. May need to move it somewhere different. Plug it in, make sure she works. Ta-da! All right, let's close the lid and see what that's going to look like. I got in, can I get out? That's the challenge. All right, where's this thing going to land at? I believe that's going to be about perfect right there. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to work out just right. Exactly what we want. All right. We'll see if that keeps our water from freezing. I need to check that probably a couple times. Make sure nothing's getting too hot in there. I think that'll help. All right, y'all. We're going to build a fire, and I'm anticipating this fire going for a couple of days. For a couple of days, we shall see. There's a little fire starter in there. Get us another piece or two of dry wood to go across the top of that. And actually catch fire and get going. I won't be up here, all the time, but I'm gonna leave this, we'll keep a fire up here for the dogs, for Maggie and Reuben. Angel will come in and out some, and Sophie, y'all, Sophie's getting older. I mean, she's really having a lot of joint problems and that kind of thing, and she's been spending a whole lot of time in the house, and I'm okay with that. Sophie's most decidedly earned her place in the house, so that's where she wants to be, so that's where she's at. A couple paper towels I used to clean the glass with. Let's see if we can't get this going. All right, there it is. We got everything, I think, tucked away as best we can for the weather that's coming in. Like I said a while ago, the weather guessers are saying we're going to be below freezing for somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 120 hours. We will see. Have we mitigated all of our risk? No, probably not. Are we going to have problems? Yeah, probably so. But what we'll do is we'll just work through those things as they come along. I mean, that's all you can do. You got something that freezes up, you got to figure out how to thaw it and get water rolling and that kind of thing. But I think I'm okay. I think I'm going to be okay on the house. I'm not too worried about us. Concerned about the cows a little bit. The chickens, we can fill them from a frost-free hydrant out there at the barn. If for some reason that were to freeze up, we can, I just thought of something I need to do. We can fill their drinkers out of the creek. So we've got some options on some things, and we'll just have to see how it goes. But hoping that we can get through this really, really cold snap without much damage or problem or issue or anything like that. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, we have just got back, a couple days ago, from going and doing an on-farm consult with some folks. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute, but first, we're getting, y'all, I've said this before, we get so many emails and phone calls and people leaving messages on Saundra's phone and comments on YouTube videos, Facebook, all that kind of thing. We just get so much, the volume is just beyond a manageable level. So a couple ways. If you would like for us to talk with you about doing some farm consulting and help you out
and y'all, I can't believe people would even ask me to do this, but I'm so humbled. I'm glad that they do, and I really appreciate people's confidence in me. If you'd like for us to do some consulting with you, we do telephone. We can come to your farm, like we did for these folks. I'll talk about that in a minute. Or you can come out here. I'll leave a link in the description down below for a form that you fill out, and it comes directly to Saundra's email. She will see it because it is labeled differently, and so she knows to pay attention to those, and she will send that over to me. We'll get with you and figure out how we can best help you and what would work best for you. But we just got back from Burkesville, Kentucky, very small community, just north of the Tennessee state line, just north of Cookeville, Tennessee. Don and Alyssa, I think I'm pronouncing your name right, Don and Alyssa from Pure Heart Farms. We had done a couple of phone consults with them. We actually were on the phone with them when they were looking at this property and making an offer on it. And so they invited us to come out and take a look at their farm. So we went out and we toured the farm. We talked about some of their goals, what they were wanting to do, kind of where they were at in their journey, what work that they had been doing, what things they were getting ready to get started on. We talked about, some realistic goals and things that they could be doing. Saundra sat down with Alyssa for about 3/4 of the day and helped her get some paperwork kinds of things going. I think she helped her get her farm number, her EIN, her sales tax exemption. She done a number of things there. And then I went out with Don and we kind of toured the property, talked about where fencing could go, talked about some water challenges, how we could get started with egg birds and meat birds and cows and pigs and all that kind of stuff, and just had a really, really good day. And Pure Heart Farms, Don and Alyssa, I think it's Alyssa or Elisa, I'm sorry. Pure Heart Farms, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below for their Facebook page. Y'all go over there and check them out and give them a follow. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see where they go and how their farm progresses. They are excited about what they're doing, and I believe they're going to do a fantastic job. I've still got to write their report up and get that to them, but all in due time. Not like we don't have anything going on. But had a good time with those folks. Came back, y'all. All right. Here it is. This is what I'm gonna rant about today. The retail experience in store. So let me start with my local Walmart. Walmart has made the in-store experience transition from awful to horrendous. Everything in our local Walmart here now is locked up. You have to hit the little button to get an associate to come over. They act like that you're bothering them for them to come over and open up the case for you to get out a headlight bulb for your truck. And then you've got to compete with aisle space with all these Walmart employees who are doing shopping for everybody else. I got to the point of not even, if I need something, I'm just going to order on Amazon and just let them bring it up here. But that shopping experience is just awful. But on our way home, we spent the night in Sevierville, Tennessee, and went by the Smoky Mountain Knife Works. A lot of y'all know what Smoky Mountain Knife Works is, largest knife store in the world. Went by there, went in. I went in with all intentions of buying a brand new knife. I mean, I had decided I was going to go buy me a new knife. And went up to the counter of the brand that I was looking for. And it was kind of early. Store opened at 10. We got there shortly after 10 and looked like, if you've ever been in there, different brands, Case, Boker, CRT, Benchmade, Spyderco, Rough Rider, they all have their own individual cases or stations that you go shop. And then there's an associate or associates, depending on the size of the brand, at those particular counters that are there to help customers. Well, we got there a little after 10 and it looked like all the associates were coming out and everybody kind of manning their stations. And I was standing there looking at the case that I wanted, where I was going to buy a knife, and I'd picked out one or two that I wanted to see. So gentlemen, and maybe this is my fault. I'll just admit, maybe part of this is my fault. Gentleman comes over and there was a poster or something behind the counter that had fallen down, and he's hunkering down picking it up. I said, man, looks like your duct tape gave way. And he looked around and said, yeah, it looks like it does. And picked up whatever it was that he was working on and walked away and went over to another display case with two other associates, and they stood around talking, and he never said, can I help you? Are you looking for something? And, yes, could I have stopped him and said, hey, buddy, come back here. I want to see something. Sure, I could have. But I felt like that was bad customer service. So for any of our customers that visit with us at the farmers market, if you ever feel like that you're being ignored or we're not attending to your needs, please, please, please let us know. We want to make sure that if you're coming to market or you're ordering from us or you're buying from us, that you've got a good experience. And when you're in direct-to-consumer retail sales, the customer, I'll tell y'all, the customer is king. You have got to pay attention to that customer. You got to provide good, even if you're doing consulting work, you've got to provide good service, make sure that the individual feels like they're getting value for their dollar, that you're putting their best interest at heart, and that you're providing them with a good, high-quality product. Walmart absolutely does not do that, and now I'm a little bit concerned that one of the biggest knife stores in the world is not doing that. But anyway, boy, I've ranted enough, ain't I? About the weather, about Walmart, about the knife store. I think that's enough for one day. Like we always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.